What if a thing you couldn't stand turns out to be the key? The first time I went for a run, I hated it. And the next 20 times too. But to help a friend, I accepted her suggestion to enroll in a running school together. Forcing myself to do the dreadful thing, it felt like something was constantly pulling me backwards. Backwards. A relentless wind was always blowing against me, never at my back. Running repeatedly triggered my story about how the wind never blows in my favor, making everything harder for me than for others. When I was agitated enough, I yelled to my friend, "I hate running because I can't think when I run." I refused to quiet my mind, believing the thinker was me. I think therefore I am, right? It took me a few decades to realize it was the opposite. I think involuntarily, therefore I'm not. So, yes, my mind was an annoying companion that never stopped talking. But I discovered there was a way to make it stop the chatter. When a thing you couldn't stand turns out to be the key to stillness. But as with all the things I get to love, I became obsessed. Obsessed with a blank canvas I could paint on whatever I wanted if I ran. I loved it so much that after years of my obsession, I messed up my knee because I wasn't free of my ego, whose job was to take care of the pace. So we sprinted on the concrete roads, and when this left me incapable of running, my uninvited guest returned to torture me from the moment I woke up until the exhaustion of the night. Running wasn't the only remedy I got to lose after recognizing its savior quality. It seems that every little thing or big that I found to save me and make life livable would somehow self-destruct. At that time, I wasn't yet ready to take the impermanence of this reality in a less personal way. We all search for remedies. We all yearn for freedom of thought and ease, for the blank canvas to write stories from scratch, or just play and enjoy what we have. But that doesn't seem to be an easy thing. And do you find it funny how when we love something, we are okay with being clueless about what exactly is so precious to us about it? And why is it such a disaster when we lose it? Because we will lose it, because life on Earth and laws of physics. It is a disaster because we lost a portal, we lost a connection to our essence. And the activity we loved was like a pipe towards it, or some pipe cleaner. The real problem is that a portal is hoarded and tainted by our mind's resistance to reality, for which we no longer have a tool to drive our trusting mind broom. I now run happily on the beach, not measuring the pace. Not just because the sand makes everything slower, but because it doesn't matter. There are many portals to our inner peace, ease, and sense of freedom. Even just stopping everything you do to take a few deep breaths, conscious breaths. It employs different brain regions, and you can't think when you breathe consciously. That's why it helps. It stops the mind in that little moment. And sometimes that's enough for you to regain your balance and connection. Because our state heavily depends on the grip of our minds. The solution is always to give space and attention to sensing life instead of thinking about it. Sensing a moment instead of thinking about it. And that's presence. Life gets easier, much easier, when the mind releases its grip, floating weightless upon the river of existence.